Hello everybody, here I am with one more topic, that is necrosis. Necrosis is a pathological process which is a consequence of severe injury. Normally it is defined as localized area of death of a tissue which is followed by the degradation of the tissue by the hydrolytic enzyme. Just imagine this part of the tissue is completely damaged or injured. The cells present in this area are going to release the hydrolytic enzyme. These hydrolytic enzymes are going to damage the surrounding cell. Along with that, it is going to degrade or damage. They are going to break the dead cells, and the degradation of the tissue is seen here. Next, the main causes of necrosis are ischemia, burns, physical agents, chemical agents, microbial agents. They act like initiating triggers, but they may lead to irreparable damage to the cell. There are 5 characteristic features of the necrosis. First one is the denaturation of the protein, leakage of the cellular content, plasma membrane damage, local inflammation, and the enzymatic digestion of this cell. Now I will explain this clearly. Okay. Here we see 2 types of cells. First one is the normal cell and the injured cell. In the injured cell, the lysosome permeability is more, because of which the hydrolytic enzymes are moved out into the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, these hydrolytic enzymes are going to damage the organelles and the cell wall, that is plasma membrane. If the plasma membrane is damaged, the cytoplasmic content will move out into the extracellular fluid, and they are going to elect the host reaction, that is nothing but the inflammation, because cytoplasmic content is going to have some specific substances called as damage associated molecular patterns, that is damage associated molecular patterns. They contain 2 types of particles. First one is the ATP. It is released from the damaged mitochondria, and one more is the uric acid, which is released because of damaged DNA. These are the structures which are going to attract the macrophages. They are going to attract macrophages, through which the phagocytic process is going to start. Along with that, inflammatory reaction is also going to take place. Depending upon the morphology and the etiological factors, necrosis is divided into 5 types. In that, 2 are main and 3 are special type of necrosis. The coagulative necrosis and the liquefaction necrosis are the 2 main type of necrosis, whereas fat, fibrinoid, and the caseous necrosis are considered as a special type of necrosis. Coagulative necrosis is a form of necrosis in which the architecture of a dead tissue is well maintained for some days. Here the mechanism in the coagulative necrosis is the denaturation of the protein. In this necrosis, it not only denatures the structural protein, but also it denatures the proteolytic enzymes. If these enzymes are absent, then there won't be any damage to the membrane or a cell structure. Because of that reason, the dead tissue structure is well maintained here. Maybe the color change is seen, but not the structural difference. Okay. And after some days, what happens here is, we already know that necrosis is always associated with the inflammation, right? Okay. During inflammation, what happens? The permeability of the blood vessels is increased. So there will be leukocyte infiltration is seen in the injured area. From the leukocytes, the lysosomal enzymes are secreted out. These lysosomal enzymes are going to break the necrotic cells. These all the things happens in the coagulative necrosis. And in this, we know that the mechanism is the denaturation of the protein. Cellular outline is well maintained because there won't be any proteolytic enzyme present, so there won't be any cellular outline disturbance, and it is most commonly seen in the solid organs. Solid organs examples are like heart, kidney, liver, spleen and all. And the most common reason for the coagulative necrosis is the ischemia, and least one is the bacterial and the fungal infections. Okay. Grossly, when we see the coagulative necrosis, it appears like pale, firm and slightly swollen in the initial stages. Later it appears like yellowish, softer and shrunken. In this picture you can see that. Microscopically, when we see the coagulative necrosis, it appears like a tombstone. That means the outline of the cell is well maintained here, right? Then the cytoplasm and the nuclear details are lost. You can see it clearly. The eosinophilic cytoplasm is more compared to that of the normal cells. These are the changes seen in the coagulative necrosis. Next one is the liquefaction necrosis. It is complete opposite to that of the coagulative necrosis. We already know that in coagulative necrosis the dead tissue architecture is well maintained, right? But it is not same in the liquefaction necrosis. Here the dead tissue is converted into a viscous liquid because of its enzymatic action. What type of enzymes are released and how it is going to release, I am going to explain now. We already know that in the coagulative necrosis the most common cause is the ischemia, but here it is bacteria and fungi. These microbes are going to stimulate large amount of leukocytes to come into that area, because of which these leukocytes are going to release lysosomal enzymes. These lysosomal enzymes are going to act on the dead cells, because of which the architecture of the tissue is completely lost. So the tissue will appear like a viscous liquid. The mechanism here is the enzymatic action. Okay. The most common organ involved in this type of necrosis is the brain, and there are some infections, abscess are also involved in the liquefaction necrosis, because these are all associated with the microbes which are going to activate the enzymatic reaction. The gross appearance of the liquefaction necrosis. When we see the affected area, we can notice that the center of the affected area is containing the necrotic debris, which is brown in color and it is soft. Microscopically, when we see the liquefaction necrosis, here you can see completely that there is no structure of the cell is maintained here, and it is completely filled with the necrotic cell debris and macrophages. Third one is the caseous necrosis. Caseous necrosis is the combination of both coagulative necrosis and the liquefaction necrosis. The term caseous indicates the cheese-like. When we see this necrosis macroscopically, the affected area appears like a cheese, that is yellow-white debris. This is mainly because of presence of mycolic acid on the cell wall. The best example for the mycolic acid is the tuberculosis. Because of that reason, it is considered as a caseous necrosis. Now we will see the microscopic picture. Here we see amorphous pink granules along with the fragmented cells, right? Along with that, the surrounding area will show the granulomatous inflammation. This is all about the microscopic picture of the caseous necrosis. And the next one is the fat necrosis. Fat necrosis is a special form of cell death, occurs mainly in the fat-rich anatomical locations of the body. Okay, this type of necrosis is most commonly caused by two reasons. First one is the trauma and second one is the enzymatic reaction. The example for the trauma is the breast necrosis, and the enzymatic one is the acute pancreatitis. What happens here is when the pancreas is damaged or injured or inflamed, the acinar cells are going to release the pancreatic enzyme. These pancreatic enzymes are going to act on the fat cells of the peritoneal cavity. Now, this neutral fat will change into glycerol and free fatty acids. The fatty acids are going to combine with the calcium to form the calcium soap. This process is known as saponification. Now we will see the macroscopic picture of the fat necrosis. Here you can notice the chalky white granules of the fat necrosis, right? Now we will see the microscopic structure of fat necrosis. When we notice normal fat cells, they are eccentric uninucleated cells with clear cytoplasm, right? But in the necrotic tissue, the nucleus is absent and the calcium deposits are seen in the cytoplasm. Now we will see the histological picture of fat necrosis. Here we can notice the cells with clear cytoplasm and enucleated cells. Fibrinoid necrosis is a special form of vascular damage seen in the immune reaction, which most commonly involves blood vessels. Immune reaction is nothing but the antigen and antibody complexes, right? These complexes are seen around the blood vessels, and here with these complexes the plasma proteins from the blood vessels are going to accumulate over here, the down picture, right? This part along with plasma proteins and antigen and antibody complexes is known as fibrinoid. Now we will see the microscopic picture. Okay, here what happens is the pink color staining which is seen around the blood vessel is the fibrinoid necrosis. Last topic is about gangrene. Gangrene is nothing but the necrosis of a tissue. It is most commonly seen in the lower limb. It is defined as a necrosis of a tissue associated with a supra-added putrefaction. The most common reason is ischemia. The ischemic part is going to die, but the architecture of the dead tissue is well maintained here. When the microbes come in associated with the ischemic part, they are going to release large amount of enzymes. Because of these enzymes, the dead tissue will undergo degradation. But the architecture of the tissue is well maintained here. Because of that reason, it is an example for the coagulative necrosis. We know that here because of microbes there will be the enzymatic reaction. Now it will be the example for the liquefaction necrosis. This is all about the gangrene and the necrosis. Thank you for watching.